Good afternoon or good evening, everybody, and welcome to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Man, we got a lot of Arizona topics to discuss today. We're going to be talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. potentially skipping out on preseason. Kyler Murray, maybe is this his last chance to prove himself as the franchise quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals? We're going to talk about the Phoenix Suns signing Tyus Jones and T.D. Washington to fill up the final roster spots. And we're going to be briefly talking about Kevin Durant and Devin Booker absolutely carrying Team USA, and the ASU, briefly talking about ASU officially joining the Big 12. And then last but not least, our beloved Arizona Diamondbacks. We're going to be talking about the last-minute trade deadline moves that they made. Eduardo Rodriguez finally making his Diamondback debut against the Cleveland Guardians, and the Diamondbacks making a late playoff push in the month of August. Once again, guys, thank you for coming to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Once again, guys, welcome to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. Whew, man, it's been a quick week, and I'm ready to get down to episode 3. We got a little bit to talk about, but guys, IE Sports Radio has been around for 10 years, so guys, make sure to follow us on our socials right here, not just my socials, but the socials on here and everybody else's socials. And if you guys missed some of our shows, here they are right here. Apple Podcast, Spreaker, Spotify, you know the drill. And our website, iesportsradio.com. And then you guys can also check out our shops as well. And make sure to follow our custom pages. Mine is right here. But make sure to check out all the other ones as well, guys. And then make sure to follow my AZ Sports Zone Twitter on the IE Sports Radio, where I pretty much give updates on pretty much every Arizona team. I try to retweet as much Arizona sports news as I can, and also following the play-by-plays every once in a while. And then, guys, make sure to follow me on Instagram, always Arizona Sports, where I just briefly post things on my story regarding Arizona sports. And follow my personal Twitter at the AZTRL, where I always like to say my unfiltered Twitter, where I'm brutally honest on pretty much every Arizona team. And then, guys, make sure to sub up to my YouTube channel, Always Arizona Sports, where I do play-by-plays. I try to get into my videos a little bit more regarding Arizona sports, where just talking Arizona sports, make sure to go live, do hangout streams with my buddies, and we just talk sports and even talk a little bit of trash and so forth. And guys, shout out to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seals, guys. Shout out to our sponsors. Make sure to give them a check. And speaking of that, guys, we're going to go into a sponsor break. A quick word from our sponsors. Once again, guys, welcome to the AZ Sports Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
Welcome back to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. And guys, once again, shout out to our sponsors, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And also, one final mention, guys, make sure to follow the YouTube channel on the IE Sports Radio where you can catch not only my show, but a bunch of other content creators show, guys. We have a ton of good content creators who do a lot of sports coverage regarding any city you can or state you can pretty much imagine. So all those guys do an amazing, great job. Shout out to all those guys. But with that being said, guys, let's get into the show. And the first segment, you guys know the drill. We're going to be starting off with the Arizona Cardinals. And there is always, a question regarding the Arizona Cardinals, especially around Marvin Harrison Jr., which is something I kind of want to briefly get into. So basically, there's a lot of question as we get closer to the preseason where what is Jonathan Gannon going to do regarding our rookies and our young guys and the guys that basically we need to play and are going to get cut, this and that. And the big topic right now regarding our rookies is no other than Marvin Harrison Jr. because there's been a lot of questions surrounding is Marvin Harrison Jr. going to play in the preseason? Now, obviously, yesterday, we had the first Hall of Fame game, and we didn't see Caleb Williams or anything like that. I'm pretty sure we didn't see Rome Odunze either. So, obviously, that kind of translated into the Arizona Cardinals regarding Marvin Harrison Jr. just for some reason. And Marvin Harrison Jr. came out and said that he does want to play in preseason, but at the end of the day, it's not up to him. It's up to Jonathan Gannon. Now, it all just depends obviously in training camp a lot of us have seen the connection between Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. It's very connecting, it's very growing, not just with Marvin Harrison Jr. but also with our second year guys like Michael Wilson, Zay Jones, who we just signed, and also Greg Dortch, who's going to be taking over on the slot. So in training camp it's looking really good, so you can sort of understand if Gannon doesn't want to rush Marvin Harrison Jr. into the preseason. But basically, as an Arizona Cardinals fan, I always want to see the young guys, especially the rookies, enter the football field during preseason because, especially with a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. as well, while we have high expectations going into the season with our star receiver, at the same time, he's still unproven, right? We don't really know what he brings to the table in the NFL level yet. So in preseason, you always want to play the guys that you can play, especially the young guys and especially the rookies too. So obviously, heading into the preseason now, I don't expect Kyler Murray to play the first game when we take on New Orleans. But when it comes to Marvin Harrison Jr., I feel like Jonathan Gannon should definitely throw him in there for maybe, and it doesn't even have to be for the whole game. It could be like for a drive or two. We always talk about just the young guys being able to get reps, just so the coaches can really get a sense of what the receivers and the defense and this and that are looking to bring to the table. So let me get to the chat for a quick second. N8 Seahawks, our new guy. What's up, man? How is Marvin Harrison Jr. looking? And I'm assuming how has the defense been looking? So Marvin Harrison Jr. has been looking tremendously well in training camp so far, not just with the route running and with his ability to catch on execution on the routes, but his connection with Kyler Murray has been going tremendously well. So Marvin Harrison Jr., as expected, has been looking very good in training camp. The defense, they've been looking solid as well on the most part, especially Mac Wilson, who we just brought from the New England Patriots. Zaven Collins, also the two linebacker duo that I cannot wait to see. Our pass rush. We talk about Darius Robinson, who we also took in the first round. He's been looking tremendously well on the D line as well. You can expect him to play in the interior defensive line and also on the edge as well. That's what I like about the pick that we made of Darius Robinson. He's very versatile on the D line. So a very good sense from our linebacker core and our defensive line heading into the season. Now, as far as our secondary goes, it's a little bit bumpy. Sean Murphy, Bunting, and Buda Baker, they've been looking pretty solid. Another rookie, DTD. I mean, yeah, he's looking solid. I mean, I expect him to play a lot in the preseason as well, as should all our other guys as well. And Taryn, what's up, man? Yep. Hopefully, we have a great show here. Great show going. We got a lot of Arizona topics to discuss. So, keeping up with the Arizona Cardinals. All right. So, yeah, like I said, Marvin Harrison Jr. We all obviously every single Cardinals fan, we want to see him play, right? We want to see what he brings to the table. We want to see what he can do in regards of the defense. I said this last week that Marvin Harrison Jr. brings a sense to the offense where we do expect him to make exploding plays, but at the same time, I also kind of view it to where uh, he can also take the distraction from the defenses because a lot of defenses, they game plan for Marvin Harrison Jr. So when it comes to the defenses, they're gonna expect a lot of plays from Marvin Harrison Jr. that we may even see a lot of double teams on him, and uh, Kyler Murray being able to find the other guys that are wide open. Because when I say distraction, I mean they're gonna focus on Marvin Harrison a lot. That it's gonna free up a lot of other guys like Trey McBride. Um, Michael Wilson, who I think is going to have a great second year leap. Greg Dortch, who showed a lot of promise last season. And obviously, with us trading away Rondale Moore and him being able to get a lot of playing time on the slot, it's going to look very good for this Cardinals wide receiving core. I know a lot of people don't really know a lot of guys on our offense. And not to mention James Conner and Trey Benson on the backfield as well. So, and obviously, we don't really. I mean, me personally, I don't trust James Conner's health. He did have somewhat he had a career year last year, but he was also injured a little bit last season. I think he missed it was like around 4 to 5 games. So the health for James Conner was a bit questionable, and that's where the Trey Benson pick came in. And it was a very, very underrated pick for us. I thought we were going to get Blake Corum out of Michigan, but the Trey Benson pick was very, very solid for us, and it's going to be an underrated pick heading into this season with the speed that he has, the catching ability that he has. It's going to be amazing. All right. Terrence says it's a little bit early. How are you feeling going into week one against the Buffalo Bills? Another last second miracle like the last meeting. And it's kind of funny when we played Buffalo back in 2021 or 2020, excuse me. Like I almost turned the game off when Diggs caught that 30-second touchdown and then Murray just leaped it up to DeAndre Hopkins for the win. It was an amazing moment. But going into week one against Buffalo, I said this briefly last week that I am very happy that we're getting this game over with in September and we're not going into Buffalo when it's like in the negatives, you know what I mean? It's not like freezing cold, this and that. So I'm glad that we're doing this in week one where the weather is somewhat, manageable and it's not like in the snow or anything like that. So I'd say it's a really good plus that we're facing them in week one. I know a lot of Cardinal fans, they don't really see a lot of promise heading into this game, but I do feel like and just know guys, it's week one. In week one, we don't know what team we're gonna get out of all of our teams. Like even the worst team, like the first 3-4 weeks, we don't know what kind of team we're gonna get. So for all we know, we could upset Buffalo, and for all we know, we could get blown out by Buffalo. But at the end of the day, going into week one against Buffalo, I feel like we have a really good chance to upset the Buffalo Bills. Now I'm not guaranteeing a win or anything like that, but I do think that with this defense, nobody has a lot of tape on our young offense because we have a lot of young guys that did not really see NFL playing time last season. And the same thing goes with our defense too. We do have veterans on our team, don't get me wrong, but we have so many young guys that a lot of coaches don't really have a lot of tape on that I feel like some young guys that we have can really make a lot of noise as long as they follow the game plan well. So when it comes to Buffalo, they did lose a lot of guys in the offseason. They did draft Keon Coleman out of Florida State, who I think was a very, very solid pick for them, especially, after trading away Stephon Diggs to Houston. So Buffalo, I think we have a very good chance to upset them. I'm not saying we will, but at the end of the day, I think I do like our chances heading into that game. What's up, Ralph? Hey, man, I'm going to be talking about the baseball series that we got coming up at some point in this episode. So, yep, what's up, Ralph? And then Terrence says James Conner is underrated as a running back. Older and talented running backs are tough to come by. And it was proven last year, too. He had a career season. He had over 1,100 yards. He did miss a few games. And he missed a few games, too. Like, I think it was like 4 or 5 games. But he was able to come back and still get over 1,000 yards. And for a running back, especially one that's known to get injured a bit, that is very hard to do. So I want to talk about Kyler Murray a little bit. So a lot of Cardinals fans are already saying Kyler Murray is the franchise quarterback. And guys, you guys could give your thoughts on these topics as well if you want. I do have some NFC West fans in the chat right now. So a lot of people think that Kyler Murray is a lock-on franchise quarterback. A lot of Cardinals fans think that this is his last chance to prove that he is the Arizona Cardinals franchise quarterback. Now, when it comes to Kyler Murray, right? He's coming off an ACL tear. He didn't play half the season last year, but when he did play, our offense numbers went up. So when it comes to Kyler Murray, I wouldn't say that this is his last year to prove himself because and news came out recently that he is fully recovered from his ACL tear and he's ready to go. So basically what I'm trying to say is that do I think Kyler Murray needs to go out and throw over 4,500 yards and win MVP, win a playoff game, this and that? No, I'm not saying that. And I don't think he's really going to do that. Like I said, we have a bunch of young guys on this team. Our coaches are still very young, entering their second year. So for all we know, we might not even get to the playoff hump yet. But when it comes to Kyler Murray, I think this season he doesn't really have to, put up MVP numbers or anything like that, but he has to look at least serviceable. And what do I mean by that? I feel like he's got to go out there, throw at least maybe 3,000 yards, 3,500 yards, and somewhere around the lines of 20, 25 touchdowns, this and that. Because obviously being a number one overall pick, you have a lot of baggage on you, and you carry a lot of expectations with you. But when it comes to Kyler Murray, obviously last season we didn't really see him run the ball a lot as often because I mean he's coming back from an ACL tear, but this season I do think that we're going to see him use his legs a lot more and be able to open up the playbook a little bit more, using his feet, making his own plays, running for a first down whenever it's crucial, and then leave the rest to the receivers and the tight ends. And obviously, I mean, he has a very good running back room as well, like I mentioned just now. So he can, if doesn't feel like throwing the ball or anything like that, he can easily hand it off to one of the two good running backs that we have in the backfield. And our offense is very, very deep. A lot of people don't talk about that. They only talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. But you look deeply into this Cardinals offense, they may be young, but they are still a very deep offense, or at least that's what I think. So, heading into this season, I think Kyler Murray's got a lot of solid weapons around him, not just around Marvin Harrison Jr. But there is a bit of expectations regarding our young guys as well. So, guys, when it comes to Kyler Murray, I'm going to end the Cardinals segment with this. Kyler Murray does not have to go out there and put up MVP numbers. Kyler Murray has to go out there and at least make this team look good. Because remember, we're still on the rebuilding stage. A lot of people are counting us out, rightfully so. We've won 4 games in the last 2 years. So while we are being counted out, we also are still building our team. So Cardinal fans that have high expectations on the Cardinals, I would not really put anything to the table yet regarding playoffs. Like I said last week, I expect this team to win no more than 7 to 8 games. And Kyler Murray has to at least make the offense and make himself look serviceable in order for him to have another chance next year on the Arizona Cardinals. And even if we wanted to trade him, nobody's going to take that contract, just for the record. And, he's making $46 million heading into this season. So he at least has to make himself serviceable regarding that contract and regarding the team that he has around him. So with that being said, guys, that is a wrap on the Arizona Cardinals segment. We're going to go quick into a break, and then when we come back, guys, we're going to be talking about the Phoenix Suns signing Tyus Jones and Ty-Dye Washington. I hope I'm saying that name right. And then Kevin Durant and Devin Booker going to putting up big numbers on Team USA. So with that being said, guys, let's go into a break. Once again, guys, you're watching the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Once again, guys, welcome to the AZ Sports Zone. If you're just now tuning in, with IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Alden K. And what's up, Carcast? I see you're in the chat. What's up, man? All right, so regarding the Arizona Cardinals, ending off on that amazing segment, guys, this Cardinals team is going to be fun to watch coming up very soon in preseason and in the regular season. But let's move on to the next segment, which is the beloved Phoenix Suns, or I mean, beloved for the most part. But anyway, so the Phoenix Suns. Obviously, we got Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, who is about to win gold at Team USA with a bunch of other guys. But back in the desert, Matt Ishbia and James Jones are making a couple other good moves as we speak, and they did that by signing Tyus Jones and TD Washington. And I don't know if I'm saying that name right. I really hope I am, but if not, it is what it is. So obviously coming into this offseason, the Phoenix Suns were in big of a need of a point guard, and they did that in free agency, signing Monty Morris. And now they add on to that by signing Tyus Jones to a 1-year minimum deal. Now, Tyus Jones, coming off of last year, had a career season with the Washington Wizards. As you can see, here he averaged 12 points a game, 2 rebounds a game, 7 assists a game, and shot 48% from the field. So Tyus Jones, now this signing was very surprising for me just because it's I mean, we talk about the Phoenix Suns and Matt Ishbia spending so much money, like unconditionally, to improve this team. And a buddy of mine actually said it's kind of like we're like the New York Mets of basketball. It's like we spend so much money, but it seems that we can't do anything with it because I mean, look at what we've done in the past: first round exit, second round exit, second round exit, NBA Finals loss. It's like, we do spend money and we do trade for some people that really do help our team. But at the end of the day, it just seems like we cannot get over the hump. And coming into the offseason, like I had just mentioned, we needed a point guard. And in the offseason, we signed Monty Morris from Minnesota to come off the bench and or potentially be a starter, whatever starting lineup Mike Budenholzer hasn't planned for the Suns. But to add on to that, we added Tyus Jones and TD Washington. And TD Washington is an Arizona native, and he signed with the Suns on a 2-way deal. So we probably won't see him that much on the court. Probably, uh, a G League contract, this and that. But at the end of the day, the Tyus Jones signing was huge, and the reason why I say I was surprised with the signing was because I mean Tyus Jones could have gotten paid anywhere else. I mean, Dwayne Rankin came out and said that Tyus Jones rejected bigger money from the Atlanta Hawks and the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, I mean, those two teams, in my opinion, I don't think they'll really be top of their conferences, depending on how John Morant comes back and depending on how Trey Young responds and how their first number one overall pick goes. But he rejected all of that to come to Phoenix and play somewhat of a big role. I wouldn't really say it's that big of a role, just because I mean, look at who he's got to dish the ball to and split points with. Now, Tyus Jones isn't really a guy who's known for scoring that well, but he's a pure point guard, and which is what we needed. Because while I did like seeing Devin Booker in the point guard position last season, and Bradley Beal for the short time that he played point guard as well. Neither of those guys are point guards. They're shooting guards, and I don't. And the starting lineup is so questionable because we have so much talent on this team, and last season we just didn't really live up to the expectations because Frank Vogel was a moron and he didn't provide the right starting lineups. He didn't really provide the right replacements. He didn't really play Bobo that much. And another guy I was surprised that we re-signed too. I'm surprised we were able to get some of these guys to stay on our team. I mean, we re-signed Bobo, we re-signed Josh Okogie, Damian Lee came back, who did not play last year on the meniscus tear. So it like Matt Ishbia and James Jones have done a very good job this offseason. And we talk about drafting Ryan Dunn, Oso Iguodaro, two guys that could be limited minutes in their rookie seasons, but we may see quite a bit. Now, at the end of the day, this Tyus Jones signing, to me, now it could go one of two ways. Either he'll be the starting point guard or he'll be the sixth man coming off the bench to lead the second unit, because the second unit is very important, because the second unit was a big issue for the Phoenix Suns, and it's been an issue for the Phoenix Suns in the past like 2 or 3 years. It's just our bench just does not seem to provide what is needed in order, because it like and we talk about the injuries as well. Like every time I see Devin Booker and Kevin Durant go onto the court, it's like they have to score 30, 35 points just for us to be in contention to beat a good team every single day. And when you don't have a bench, you're not going to win games. I mean, we've seen the Denver Nuggets. How did they win their title? I mean, yeah, Jokic, Jamal Murray, all those guys provided, but they had a bench. The Boston Celtics, they had a bench for the most part. They had Porzingis coming off the bench for a bit, and he was delivering when he came back from injury. I mean, Milwaukee, when they beat us, they had a bench. So in order to win titles in this league, you need to have a bench, and that's something that the Suns have really struggled these past couple years, and that is why we cannot get over the second round hump, and that is why we've lost to teams that we should have beaten, like the Mavericks, the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, who I still feel like were overhyped last season. It's like the Phoenix Suns have really addressed the bench heading into this offseason. They signed Tyus Jones and Monty Morris, two guys that can really, and one of those guys could be in the starting lineup for all we know. So one of those guys could be valuable for the starting lineup and another guy for the bench. So and they re-signed Boble, who I expect under Mike Budenholzer he should be playing Boble a lot more, because last year with Frank Vogel, we saw Boble for like no more than like 7 to 8 minutes, and it was just ridiculous. And every time we did see him, especially when we were down big in a game, we were able to come back and get back in the game when he was on the court. And him and Kevin Durant on the court at the same time was very fun to watch. I mean, you had Kevin Durant scoring from anywhere on the field. You had Bol, cleaning up on the glass, getting rebounds, and then you had him going out there and just dominating in the paint, getting rebounds, getting blocks on defense. It's like Bol was very versatile on our offense and defense coming off the bench. So now that we got him back, and Tie-Dye Washington, like I said, I don't really expect to see him that much on the court. Maybe a couple minutes. I mean, kind of similar to like a Saban Lee type of signing who we saw briefly last season. Never saw him in the playoffs or anything like that, but I mean, didn't really matter anyway because we got our butts kicked. But Tyus Jones to the Phoenix Suns was a big move. It was for a minimum too. Like it was for like a veteran minimum type of contract. I did not see that. I did not see that coming at all. I didn't even think like I feel like Tyus Jones was going to be that kind of guy that said, "No, I'm not taking a veteran minimum. I had a career year last season. I'm going to go to a team that offers me more money and a bigger role." But he took that role to come to Phoenix and have a chance to win a championship. And I mean, that's the biggest reason, as he said in his opening press conference when the Suns announced him as the point guard for the Phoenix Suns. He came here to win. He didn't come here for, I mean, he has a big role here, but he didn't come here for the biggest role. He didn't come here for money, this and that. I mean, he came to the Phoenix Suns to win. And I feel like that's the kind of players that we need on this team in order to get over that hump. And while the Mike Budenholzer hire, a lot of people still find questioning. I mean, he's a proven NBA champion. I still feel like it was a good hire. I mean, anytime you win a championship as a coach, no excuses. You win the championship. So he's a proven champion. He's been on that level before, and now he has a chance to lead the Phoenix Suns to a championship with the moves that Matt Ishbia and James Jones have made. And James Jones, who we thought was on the hot seat for a while, he's really proven why he's the GM of our team. Now, it really just depends on how those signings, move. Our guys need to start clicking. But overall, I like the work that Matt Ishbia and James Jones have done with this team. And this team is looking very good for this upcoming season. I know I feel like I've said this ever since the Chris Paul trade, but it's this year, I'm not saying we're winning the finals. I was delusional last year and I said we were winning the finals, but this year this team's looking good. I'm not saying we're going to win the finals, but this year, this team is looking very good. So shout out to the work that Matt Ishbia has done. Guys, if you guys have any questions in the chat, make sure to ask me right away. I try to engage a lot with the audience. It's not just about me. I try to engage with you guys a lot too. So that being said, moving on to the next part of the basketball segment, which is Kevin Durant and Devin Booker leading Team USA to victories over and over and over again. So Kevin Durant, who recently came back from an injury against Serbia, shot perfect from the field, and Devin Booker, who has been dishing the ball, who had a career, I think it was the highest in Team USA history regarding assists. I think he had, what was it, like 5 to 7 or 7 assists or something like that. So Devin Booker hasn't been like, I mean, he's been the pure scorer that we all know, but regarding Team USA, he's been killing it, dishing the ball out to guys on Team USA. And basically, when it comes to Team USA, a lot of the reasons on their success, and this may just be me being biased, but it has been Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. All right, and we've seen Stephen Curry struggle in Team USA. Anthony Edwards, who's been kind of bumpy on Team USA. I mean, like Team USA is so deep that I mean Joel Embiid didn't even touch the court at all the other day. And then the game before that, Jason Tatum didn't touch the court either. So this Team USA team is just so deep and so stacked that Steve Kerr, every time he brings in a star, it's like he has to put out another star on the bench. And it sucks because the player that rides the bench on Team USA is just so talented. And it's like what the heck? But Kevin Durant and Devin Booker have really been doing their job for Team USA. I mean, they recently just beat South Sudan. They beat Serbia recently as well. So as Team USA looks to win another gold medal, I mean, I think Canada just hit the quarterfinals as well. That's what I saw lately. But Team USA, they're doing their job right now. What's up, TOP? Booker's a playable character in COD. Okay. Yep, he is in Call of Duty. So yeah, for all you COD lovers out there, shout out to Booker, I guess. Um, in this year, like Larry says right here, Team USA is dominant. It's a gold or bust year, and I agree with that. There's no excuse for Team USA to not win the gold this season. There's no excuse. And Devin Booker and Kevin Durant have really been leading this team. I personally feel like if Kevin Durant were still injured, I don't think Team USA would get this far right now because before Kevin Durant got back from injury, there was a lot of question regarding Team USA because they almost blew a game against South Sudan in the exhibition games, and it required a big comeback from Team USA in order to beat South Sudan, which the only player I really know from South Sudan is Bobo. And that's because he's really on my team. But the exhibition games, and then they also beat Serbia by not that much as well. But ever since Kevin Durant came back, it feels like this Team USA team has been unstoppable. Kevin Durant is by far the best Team USA player that Team USA has ever seen in history. Got the most points in Team USA history, the best shooting percentage in Team USA history. Without a doubt, Kevin Durant's the best Team USA player ever in Team USA Olympics history. So ever since he came back, it feels like Team USA is just unstoppable. And obviously, the chemistry that he already has with Devin Booker just adds on to that. Devin Booker, like I said, he scored 10 points against South Sudan, which for Team USA, that's honestly good considering the firepower that Team USA has. But with that being said, it is a gold or bust year for Team USA. And I haven't checked who they're playing next, but the only recent news that I've seen regarding Olympic basketball in general is that Canada hit the quarterfinals. So I don't know if USA is playing them, but whoever USA is playing, I expect them to crush the living daylights out of their opponents. So, like I said, it's a make or break year for Team USA. This is honestly the last good Olympics that, or at least in my opinion, the last good Olympics that we're really going to see regarding Team USA because LeBron's not coming back to the Olympics in 2028 in Los Angeles. Steph Curry most likely won't be coming back. Um, Kevin Durant probably won't be coming back. All three of those guys will be retired, and it feels like I'm getting old because those three guys were my childhood, and it's like, man, it's just it sucks to see those three go. So, but I mean, look at the future, right? You got Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Jalen Brown. If they bring back Derek White, I mean, we'll see. Bam Adebayo, um, who else? Who else I'm forgetting a lot of guys, but that's because Team USA does have a lot of good players. But for this last upcoming Olympics, guys, this is the last time we'll see the big three, as I like to call them, with LeBron, KD, and Steph Curry in Team USA. So it sucks, but on to the next generation of Olympics basketball, I guess. But for this year, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker have really been doing their thing, and it's amazing to see as a Phoenix Suns fan. Hopefully, they carry that onto the NBA season as the Suns look to win their first title. And the Suns need to get it done too because they don't have that much of a window left. As you know, we go back to the Suns topic. They don't have that much of a window left. I'd say this current Suns team has like 2 years left, maybe, to really win a championship before they have to really start getting more picks and build their younger team. So we talk about Kevin Durant retiring soon, Bradley Beal, who has not lived up to the expectations for the Phoenix Suns. You know, Bradley Beal is stuck with the Suns. Like I keep saying, Bradley Beal is stuck on our team because nobody wants his contract. And quite frankly, I don't think the Suns want to get rid of Bradley Beal, even though he had a terrible year last season, especially in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, Phoenix Suns, hopefully they do their thing because this franchise has like the top five biggest winning percentage in franchise history. But guess what? They've got zero titles. So with that being said, we need to get it done at some point. It's just Suns just have to get it done. But with that being said, guys, we're gonna briefly be talking about Arizona State University. So I know if you guys are reading the banner, obviously ASU is already in the Big 12. We all know it. They're already in the Big 12, but they officially, as of today or maybe yesterday, when I saw the tweet, it was this morning. But as of today, ASU is officially joining the Big 12. Uh, they announced that Utah and ASU have officially joined the Big 12. So it's a good next step for Arizona State University. I'm sure U of A is going to officially get the announcement soon as well, or maybe they already did. But regarding my beloved ASU Sun Devils, it's nice to now. It sucks that we're leaving the Pac-12. I think obviously the Pac-12 was some big competition for us, but it's nice to really get a new good start going into the Big 12. Now, if you guys um, know college football, the Big 12 isn't really known for their defense. A lot of guys that are in the Big 12, that's why, we see quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield coming out of Oklahoma, Kyler Murray as well. Some other guys that played in Texas or any Big 12 teams, this and that, they put up big numbers because the Big 12 doesn't have a lot of defense. They're not really known for defense. So hopefully, ASU can really, with the moves that they made, the players that they brought in, the players that have transferred here, hopefully they can really make some noise in the Big 12. I know ASU isn't really, known for winning that many games, and like I said, the only time you'll ever see ASU win, guys, anything regarding, bowl games or championships, this and that, the only time you'll ever see ASU win is on the NCAA 25 football video game. So, with that being said, but yeah, ASU officially is a member of the Big 12. I know they were already in the Big 12 as far as, last year when college football ended. But it was officially signed on the dotted line. ASU and U of A and Utah are in the Big 12. So it'll be interesting. It's a new start. As much as I hate to see us leave the Pac-12, where the defense was competitive, we had our good old rivalry going with U of A in the Pac-12, which we still do in the Big 12. But we had teams like Oregon in there who, honestly, like teams like Oregon and Washington and USC who do own us all time. I'm not gonna discard anything that, but I mean, if even last season we gave USC a very tough time. We gave Caleb Williams, even though he was putting up points and putting up stats against us. I mean, our offense was giving USC a very tough time, even though USC's defense wasn't really the best last season. Same thing with their O line, which is why we were able to get to Caleb Williams a lot last season. And we gave Washington a hard time as well. I think they only beat us by like I think Washington only beat us by I think like 5 points last season, and they went to the national championship. So Arizona State, while they don't really win a lot of games, they do give a lot of teams some good competitiveness, and that's something I'm looking forward to watching this upcoming football season. And I'm going to pay attention to basketball a lot as hopefully they can get back to March Madness because last year for March Madness it wasn't the best, but basketball is obviously you know not really around the corner. The basketball March Madness just ended, but hopefully ASU can really bounce back from that. But ASU football, it's going to be interesting the first year in the Big 12. I do expect the offense to do a lot better, regarding scoring points. Like I said about the defense, but ASU, man, it's going to be interesting seeing them in the Big 12. And even though I hate U of A, I am going to be paying attention to them a lot as well, so I can keep you guys updated on U of A in future episodes on this show. But get to the chat. What's up, Jennifer? Yep, having a great show right now. And TOP, yeah, I was talking Ball So Hard University in the words of Ravens legend Terrell Suggs and ASU legend Terrell Suggs. So with that being said, guys, we're going to enter another break here, guys. And when we get back, we're going to be talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks and the trade deadline moves that they made. And we're going to be talking briefly about Eduardo Rodriguez coming back against the Cleveland Guardians in a few days and the Diamondbacks playoff push. Once again, guys, you're watching the AZ Sports Zone, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, Vegas does get a baseball team soon. It'd be nice to expand it a little bit. But guys, shout out to both of those content creators, guys. Make sure to go give them a check out. Not just them, but everyone on the IE Sports Radio. Once again, guys, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel on IE Sports Radio. But before we wrap up episode 3, we got some baseball to talk about. We got to talk about our Arizona Diamondbacks and how much they've been killing it lately. And I mean killing it. This team is amazing to watch as of late. But let's talk about the Diamondbacks trade deadline. So a few days ago, the trade deadline ended, and the Diamondbacks made some last-minute moves. And regarding the two moves that they made to end the deadline, remember we talked about the AJ Puck trade a week ago on episode 2, and lately they recently traded for first baseman Josh Bell from the Miami Marlins in exchange for cash consideration. So we basically got Josh Bell for free. Now this was a great trade for us, not only because of depth, but because of the Christian Walker injury. Now we don't really know how long Christian Walker is going to be out. He strained his oblique. I think I can never pronounce that word right. Hopefully I said that right. But anyway, so we don't really know how long he's going to be out. They did put him on the 10-day injured list. But regarding the Diamondbacks medical team, I mean, they put Alec Thomas on the 10-day injured list back in April, and he ended up being out for like a month or two. So it was absolutely ridiculous. But regardless of that, the Josh Bell trade was very acceptable. He's actually making his Diamondbacks debut today as we take on the Pittsburgh Pirates for the second time in a week. So we have another series taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates in PNC Park. It's going to be an amazing series. I'm actually going to be live streaming the first game today on my YouTube channel, Always Arizona Sports. Make sure to go check out if you guys have any free time. But back to the trade deadline. And the second move and the last move that Mike Hazen made was another bullpen move to beef up our bullpen. And they traded for Dylan Floro in exchange for a AAA prospect, Andres Chaparro, first baseman on our AAA Reno Aces. So once again, we basically kind of got him for free. I mean, the prospect that we gave up for Dylan Floro, he wasn't even a top 10 prospect. So we got another bullpen arm, and it was a very good move. He has not pitched yet for the Diamondbacks, and it was kind of funny because we traded from him from the Nationals, and when we got him, we were playing the Nationals in Arizona. So there was a clip where Dylan Floro walked out of the Nationals bullpen and just walked right into the Diamondbacks bullpen or dugout or clubhouse. Like it was just hilarious. But Dylan Floro, who has a 2.06 ERA this season. So a very solid move. He's a veteran Dodgers legend, as people like to say. A 2020 champion with the Dodgers, or Frogers, excuse me. That's how I say him. But anyway, so a 2.06 ERA bullpen. So Mike Hazen really focused on beefing up our bullpen at this trade deadline. Like like I say, the Josh Bell trade wasn't really because we needed him. It was mainly because we do need him, but because Christian Walker is currently injured and we don't know how long he's going to be out, and we don't know how long he's going to be out because Christian Walker, he's played pretty much every single game this season. I mean, we don't really have another first baseman on our roster until we traded for Josh Bell. So Walker has been kind of an Iron Man these past couple years, and he finally got injured. I think it was only a matter of time before, the wear and tear caught up to him. But now that we got Josh Bell on here, he is making his debut today. So it's going to be interesting against the Pirates. So let me get to the chat real quick. Jennifer says the oblique injuries are nasty. Josh Naylor had one last season, and he was out for about 4 weeks. Yeah, so we don't know how long Christian Walker is going to be out. It could be 10 days. It could be a month. Like, we don't really know. And Josh Bell was his fill-in. Oh, yeah, he was on the Guardians. I forgot. But anyway, so the trade deadline was very acceptable. And even though I feel like Mike Hazen could have done a little bit more, the trade deadline that the Diamondbacks did was very acceptable, and I do like the moves that he made, especially with our bullpen too, because Paul Sewald the other day almost gave up another game, and he's blown 4 saves in like the last month or so. And it's kind of weird how he goes from this closer that everybody fears, that is ready to go. He's going to deliver a 1-2-3 inning to slam the door and close the game. It's kind of sad how he went from that to a guy that everybody is excited to see pitch against their team. It's going to be an easy uh comeback, this and that, because he almost gave away the other game against the Nationals the other day, and we had to put Ryan Thompson in a bases loaded situation. And luckily, he actually got out of the jam and we won the game. So we're coming off a very big hot streak. We've won 14 of our last, I think, 19 games. So we enter this series very hot. But guys, I want to talk about our playoff push. Guys, look at our schedule right here. I mean, look at the schedule that the Diamondbacks have for this next week. Look at this right here, and I'm going to briefly show this. So we have right here, we got the Pirates for 3 games, and then we travel to Cleveland on a bus ride, basically, for a 3-game series against the Guardians. And then we travel back home against the Philadelphia Phillies for a 4-game series against 2 of the hottest teams in baseball in back-to-back series. So, and then we kind of have a little off schedule. We got the Rockies and then the Rays. But these next 3 series are really going to test how tough our team is to make a playoff push. So currently we sit in the 2nd seed for the wild card right now, but we have the Pirates. And by the way, for the Pirates series, we're taking on Mitch Keller in the 2nd game, and we're taking on Paul Skeens in the 3rd game. So this is going to be a tough pitching series against the Pirates. And then against the Guardians, we're going to have Zach Gallen pitching. And then that brings me to my next topic. Eduardo Rodriguez is going to be making his Diamondback debut against the Cleveland Guardians next week. Now, if I had to guess, I'm assuming it's going to be the 2nd game of that series. I think I'm pretty sure Gallen will be pitching in the 1st game, and then we'll have Brandon Pfaadt pitching in the last game, and then we're going to have Eduardo Rodriguez, as far as I know, pitch in the 2nd game of the series against the Guardians. So Eduardo Rodriguez, who we signed to a 4-year, $80 million deal. He got injured in spring training. We didn't think he was going to be out for that long, but he ended up being out until August, which was crazy, absolutely crazy. So I don't know. Now, obviously, we don't. Now, Torey Lovellos came out and said Merrill Kelly is also close to getting back as well. And for all we know, he could come back against the Guardians too. We just don't know yet. So we are getting very close to being at full strength. And people forget what kind of team we have when we're at full strength. When we were at full strength last season, when we were making a wild card push, what happened? When we were at full strength, when our bullpen was clicking on all cylinders, when we were executing at base running, at batting, at defense, even with Longo at third base, he was executing on defense. Man, this team can really make some noise once again in the playoffs like they did last year. But you have to get into the playoffs first. And this upcoming schedule is really going to determine where we're headed as far as the playoffs. So if you guys look at the wild card as of recently, basically the wild card. So currently right now you got the Phillies in 1st place. You got the Dodgers in 2nd place, but the Dodgers have actually been falling off lately. We're only 5 games behind the Dodgers now. So I'm going to end my segment and I'm going to end this episode with this question. Are the Diamondbacks a wild card team? Because if the Dodgers keep it up, honestly, we may have to start talking about division win. We may have to start talking about division win at this point, because the Dodgers, who we actually play very soon, we have a 4-game series against the Dodgers in mid-August. So it's really going to determine. So, are the Diamondbacks a wild card team, or do we have to push the narrative that they are on pace to win the division? Because with the Dodgers falling off, the Padres are also a hot team right now. They're only half a game above us right now. So the Diamondbacks have a good chance to maybe pull off a miracle division win. But for now, they're in the wild card. So when Eduardo Rodriguez comes back against the Cleveland Guardians and Merrill Kelly comes back, maybe against the Guardians or against the Phillies, we don't really know yet. This team will be at full strength, and it's going to be one hell of a team to deal with. So, guys, with that being said, this Arizona Diamondbacks team, we're taking on the Pirates today. Like I said, I'm going to be going live on my channel for that. You're welcome to come by if you want. We're going live for that game in about an hour and a half. But with that being said, guys, that is a wrap on episode 3 on the AZ Sports Zone, your direct feed for all that is sports, guys. Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for coming in for episode 3. It's been a hell of a first 3 weeks that I've been on the IE Sports Radio. Once again, guys, like I always say, shout out to Larry B for giving me an opportunity. It's a privilege, in my opinion, to be on here talking Arizona sports with all of you guys. It's been an amazing journey these first 3 weeks, and we're going to keep it going, guys. We're going to keep it going. Next week, we're going to have a lot more to talk about as well. Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for coming here. Like I said, Pirates, Diamondbacks on my YouTube channel, guys. Always Arizona Sports. We're going to be going live on there to do a play-by-play. You guys are welcome to hop on if you want. And once again, guys, follow our YouTube, IE Sports Radio. We're growing fast, everybody. And check out all of our other content creators, not just myself, but the other people as well. Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 3 of the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Guys, have a great rest of your day, and I will see all you fine people next Friday. Peace.